What's up, A to Z Sports Live on this Tuesday. Glad to have everybody along in the YouTube chat. Before we go live, was pretty fired up about the topic we have on hand today, and that's about the Titans reportedly being interested and expecting to have interest in free agent quarterback Derek Carr, who is expected to be released by the Las Vegas Raiders today, according to Ian Rapoport. So we will play that video, that report from Ian Rapoport of the NFL Network here momentarily and dive into the conversation that's got Kane, that's got a bunch of others in the YouTube chat fired up. Daff, I see a lot of people thinking, what the heck do the Titans want with Derek Carr? So we'll talk through it all and really the validity of the report coming from one of the NFL's most reliable, credible sources in Ian Rapoport. The Colts also just officially hired their head coach, so we'll discuss that briefly off the top. But the main topic of Derek Carr and Ryan Tannehill, do you buy or sell that Derek Carr would be an upgrade over Ryan Tannehill? And Zach, I've got a big reason why the Titans will not get Derek Carr to replace Ryan Tannehill. And it is a Tuesday, which means sports trivia. 5 questions to wrap up today's show. 4 sports, 1 non-sports. We really need to go 4-1 this week. So, Zach, welcome in. Let's get this thing rocking and rolling.
Yeah, got a lot to get to on this Tuesday. We are broadcasting live on 3 different platforms, including Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. We will tweet out segment by segment those YouTube links on our Twitter at A to Z Sports. Follow us on Twitter at ATOZ Sports. You got a great follow there on Twitter and a great subscription over there on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube and you've already subscribed, then go ahead and like this video. That helps the algorithm. That helps YouTube push this video and these conversations in front of more Titans fans. And that's how we grow our community as we start to climb up to 15,000 subscribers. You guys have done a great job for that and helping us do that. Subscribe if you have not already. If you've already subscribed to our YouTube page, go ahead and like this video. Facebook, what's going on, Facebookers? More people are going to be piling in over the next 5 to 10 minutes as you guys do. Please share the show, bottom left corner of your screen. Share now to public. Sharing is caring and caring is sharing, as we say on this show. So let's share the show around, subscribe, do all of those things, and let's get this party started on a Tuesday.
Yep, let's do it officially. Welcome to A to Z Sports, powered by the BetMGM app. I'm Austin Stanley. He is Zach Bingham. Make sure you follow us all over social media. We are Nashville's on-demand sports talk network, going live weekday mornings at 8 Central Time on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Links to the show segment by segment on our Twitter timeline. And hit us up on Instagram and TikTok for more Titans coverage. We got to thank our sponsors because they make it happen for us. And they help all of you, like Wilson County Hyundai. WilsonCountyHyundai.com is where to go to make them a part of your new car buying process by seeing them in Lebanon or right there at their website, WilsonCountyHyundai.com. The Bone and Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. Farm Bureau Health Plans get better with Farm Bureau Health Plans. That's better coverage rates and service. Learn more about a health plan for you. FBHP.com/ATOZ, and Hughes and Coleman Injury Lawyers, the official injury lawyers of the Tennessee Titans. If you've been injured in a car wreck, call Hughes and Coleman for a free case consultation, 800-800-4600. Speaking of sponsors helping you out, it's Valentine's Day today. Whisper, nudge, reminder. If you haven't done anything yet, amomentspeace.com/Valentine. Go check that out. Get your loved one, get your Valentine a gift card. We talked about that last week, but hey, it's the 11th hour. You might be late already, but amomentspeace.com/Valentine to help you out. So, Zach, before we dive into Derek Carr, the Colts officially hired Shane Steichen as new head coach, the Eagles offensive coordinator, fresh off that Super Bowl loss on Sunday. Now officially the Colts head coach. It's not Jeff Saturday. So, Jim Irsay at least avoided that disaster. But I'm sure we will talk some about the Eagles hiring 2 back-to-back Eagles offensive coordinators in Frank Reich, firing Frank Reich, and then now hiring Shane Steichen. Any quick comment on the Colts move right there?
Yeah, it's really just going to be all about what type of quarterback that they're going to go find, right? Offensive-minded head coach, that is a trend. That's not surprising. It prevents a lot of movement on the offensive coaching staff as the Titans deal with year in and year out with Mike Vrabel, a defensive-minded head coach. But now they've got the former OC of the Eagles. Who are they going to have to go lead their quarterback room? Are they going to go after a Derek Carr type? All right. Are they going to go after a draft pick and try to groom? The Colts' problem have been over the last several years is they've tried to put more tread on retreads, and it hasn't worked. It hasn't worked with Phillip Rivers. It hasn't worked with Carson Wentz. The list goes on and on and on. It didn't work with Matt Ryan this past year as they benched him and fired their head coach. So I do expect the Colts to go through a new philosophy, but just like the Titans, how quickly and how soon are they going to make that move? That's something to watch this offseason with free agency, and it's definitely something to watch from the Indianapolis Colts during the NFL draft as they have a top 10 draft pick.
Absolutely, because I expect the Colts to go rookie rather than the expensive acquisition of a veteran quarterback, expensive in what you give up for that quarterback via trade and expensive in the salary that they would pay. So that's the update there. Shane Steichen, the Eagles OC, now officially the Colts head coach as of like 4 minutes ago. So Zach, let's dive into this because Ian Rapoport Monday night went on NFL Network and had some information about current Las Vegas Raiders quarterback Derek Carr.
Right before the Super Bowl, sources said Derek Carr informed the Raiders that he would not accept a trade to the New Orleans Saints, and the two teams had essentially worked out the framework of a deal. Could have been done had Derek Carr given his okay, but he wasn't going to accept a trade anywhere. His fully guaranteed money, $40 million, becomes guaranteed tomorrow at 4 p.m. Because he is not going to accept a trade, I'm told the Raiders are going to release him tomorrow. He will no longer be the Raiders quarterback. They will simply move on, get out from under the money, and plot their new path forward with a new quarterback. And then Derek Carr will instantly become the top free agent available. Unlike most free agents who have to wait until mid-March, he could sign now. Among the teams expected to be interested, still the Saints, the Panthers, the Jets, the Titans, and some others.
Yeah.
Ian Rapoport, one of the more credible voices and reporters across the league who works for the NFL Network, that was Monday. So when he said tomorrow, he means today. So Derek Carr, by 3 p.m. Central Time today, expected to be a free agent. Zach, I think we all knew this, that whenever the Raiders benched Derek Carr and the Raiders and Derek Carr had their farewell on social media messages, the Raiders said they were going to try to trade him. But we all knew that nobody was going to trade for that contract that had Derek Carr making a base salary of $32.9 million in 2023. So Derek Carr will be a free agent, according to Ian Rapoport, at 3 o'clock or by 3 o'clock Central Time Tuesday, today. And then he threw that in there at the very end. The Saints, the Panthers, the Jets, and the Titans, and some others. The Titans expected to have interest in free agent quarterback Derek Carr.
Well, let's first start with the Saints. I think that Derek Carr's philosophy was not about the Saints. It was more about hitting the market, right? And being courted by multiple teams, as Rapoport said there at the end. So this is just a contract strategy. It's not anything. The Saints, as I think Rapoport mentioned, can still be involved. And they are a needy quarterback team, especially with Tom Brady out of that division, right? That division is wide the F open. The NFC South, you cannot sit here and pick who is going to win the NFC South right now. No clue. Nobody knows. And so that is something with an experienced quarterback, Derek Carr, trying to get back to the playoffs. He missed the playoffs this year, went to the playoffs the year before that, and had a solid season the year before that. But the expense became too much for the Raiders, and they decided to move off from him and, go somewhere else. And I think you look at the Jets have been tied to Aaron Rodgers. The Titans have just kind of been floated out there as an interested team because their quarterback situation and viewing what is going on. They owe a lot of money to Ryan Tannehill, but the cap hit is not near close to what it was a year ago. This is their out. and they've got a new general manager, which usually means when new managers come into business, it usually means change. Some way, some form or fashion. From football to whatever you do, whatever industry it is, when new general managers come in, they usually want to put their stamp on things. So I am curious to see the courting of Carr.
Yeah.
Who is going to come after Derek Carr this offseason? And I think it was smart on Derek Carr's part because there's enough quarterback needy teams in this league because of Tom Brady leaving and the question marks in San Francisco, all these different teams needing quarterbacks. Carr's going to find a landing spot.
Yeah, so Nate's burner, just to get in some comments, a lot of comments from you guys, including Cody quoting Michael Scott. No, God, please no. Nate's burner says, Rapoport knows looking at Carr. Carthon is showing what he wants another quarterback regardless of who it is. Tannehill is gone, boys and girls. Let's have a moment of silence for Tannehill. Now let's party. So that's what Nate Burner says right there. But let's go ahead and ask this question to everybody, Zach, to get the chat more involved this morning. Do you buy or sell that Derek Carr is an upgrade over Ryan Tannehill? Would you buy or sell that Derek Carr is an upgrade over Ryan Tannehill? We'll play the Ian Rapoport report again here in a second. But Zach, tell everybody about Farm Bureau Health Plans.
Yeah, FBHP.com is where to go to get your new health plan. I got my new health plan over a year ago, and I'm running it back in 2023. It's great because they give me these little perks that I never used to get on my old plan, including teledoc conferences that you don't have to pay for when you're sick. You get contact allowance. I just received my check yesterday. You got to do some paperwork. That's just how insurance and things work. But for my health plan, I had to fill out a form, send it in, and I received a check for my contact lenses, and I get allowance there. You get free teeth cleanings. There's so much benefit for this plan. Plan on them for health, dental, and vision. 200 plus locations across the state of Tennessee. That's FBHP.com/ATOZ.
Don't forget, BetMGM. You got to download that BetMGM app. And when you do, use our bonus code when you sign up. That is ATOZ Sports. ATOZ Sports when you join the BetMGM app because they got a great first bet offer for you. That's your first bet after using ATOZ Sports. You get up to $1,000 in bonus bets if you miss on that first bet. So take advantage of that. Zach, this is how you jumped on with BetMGM 3 years ago. It's been a long 3 years, but you've been riding with that, as have I, with our bonus code ATOZ Sports. That means your first bet, you get up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if that first bet misses with bonus code ATOZ Sports. So sign up for that BetMGM app today. So Zach, let's get back into this. We asked the question to the audience here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. So we're going to go to your comments here in a second. Do you buy or sell that Derek Carr is an upgrade over Ryan Tannehill? Here's what Ian Rapoport said on the NFL Network on Monday.
Right before the Super Bowl, sources said Derek Carr informed the Raiders that he would not accept a trade to the New Orleans Saints, and the two teams had essentially worked out the framework of a deal. Could have been done had Derek Carr given his okay, but he wasn't going to accept a trade anywhere. His fully guaranteed money, $40 million, becomes guaranteed tomorrow at 4 p.m. Because he is not going to accept a trade, I'm told the Raiders are going to release him tomorrow. He will no longer be the Raiders quarterback. They will simply move on, get out from under the money, and plot their new path forward with a new quarterback. And then Derek Carr will instantly become the top free agent available. Unlike most free agents who have to wait until mid-March, he could sign now. Among the teams expected to be interested, still the Saints, the Panthers, the Jets, the Titans, and some others.
Yeah.
Here's Ian Rapoport. So by 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central today, Tuesday, Derek Carr expected to be a free agent. The teams expected to have interest, according to Ian Rapoport. Again, the Saints, Panthers, Jets, Titans, and others. So we are asking all of you guys the question this morning: do you buy or sell that Derek Carr is an upgrade over Ryan Tannehill? Zach, what's the chat got to say?
Let's see here. We've got sell from Gary, sell from Billy, buy from Andre. Got a couple sells coming in from John, Eddie, and Ahmed. Steve says sell. Carlos says sell. Caleb says sell. Brad, Darren, Rui, Andrew, Jason, all sell, sell, sell. Jeff says sell quickly. So these guys, they're not buying Derek Carr to the Titans or, the idea or notion of that. Jared also says sell. Titan Fox says sell. Noah says sell. Mark is going buy. So there we got a buy right there. Ryan, Michael, Deshaun Washington, sell, sell, sell right there. Kevin brings up that it is a lateral move. King Titan says not an upgrade. Octavia says sell, just an age difference. And if you look, Derek Carr is how old's Ryan Tannehill?
Derek Carr's 3 years younger than Tannehill.
Yeah, so that makes sense based on when
Ryan Tannehill's 34. His birthday is in August because it happens during training camp every year, which is why I know that. So Ryan Tannehill will be 35, I believe, in training camp of this upcoming season.
Deborah's going sell. So does Brock, Jarvis, Jordan, Carlos, Dominique, Steven, Sawyer, Tony. I mean, this thing is a landslide. Definitely sell on that from our guy Jarrell. I mean, I only saw 2 buys, and maybe there's some other buys trickling in.
Chris Frazier's a buy. I'm just trying to catch from the bottom side of the chat. I see, I think really I thought I saw a couple more buys.
Willie comes in with a buy.
Okay. DeMario says buy for better a passer, sell for the mobility. And we all know that Ryan Tannehill really didn't have any mobility because of the ankle injury that he had on multiple occasions, last season. So Dom comes in here with a buy. So there's more buys that have come in once Zach kind of asked for it, because a lot of comments flying in, but high majority, Zach, are selling Derek Carr. So Zach, I'll ask you, do you buy or sell Derek Carr as an upgrade over Ryan Tannehill?
Well, it's not an upgrade, so I've got to sell this.
Okay.
I think it is more similar or less. I actually think that probably, if you put a gun to my head and say who's better quarterback, I actually think that Tannehill by like a whisker is probably better than Derek Carr. He's had more success than Derek Carr, right? Now, the playing for the Raiders organization and the New Age Titans organization is different, but I sell this. I agree with the chat. You don't want to do the same thing with the same type of structure and the same type of offense with the same type. Tim Kelly is not that much of a difference. He was in the building. So I don't know what the impact the new OC is going to be, but how I hate this question in the sense of I'd rather stay the same and not win the Super Bowl than change and not win the Super Bowl. I think you're going to get the same damn result.
Yeah. And so it's interesting because the Raiders and the Titans both had top rushers in the league this season, right? And so they both ran the ball a lot with their current quarterback, Tannehill and Carr, in respective spots. And Josh Jacobs had a fantastic year for the Raiders, also on an expiring contract. And so when you go back and look at the numbers, you see Derek Carr, he always has more passing yards than Ryan Tannehill. And that's, he had over 1,000 more passing yards than Tannehill this past season, but we know how much Tannehill struggled with his ankle. And
they also had Devontae Adams.
Yeah, sure. And Darren Waller, and you look at all the different weapons, and the Raiders have invested a lot more capital in the weapons for the quarterback than the Titans have. I mean, Devontae Adams, Darren Waller, they drafted a couple first round guys. And I know the Titans had AJ Brown, and then traded him away, and Traylon Burks was hurt quite a bit too this past year. And so some lunch money before I get to my answer. Noah dropping some lunch money says, anyone remember the Mad Money segment from Iron Man 1? Basically that. Sell, abandoned ship coming in from Noah. Some jackpot bucks from Danny says, I don't want to be the new Colts with retreads. Hard sell coming in from Danny and the jackpot bucks. All right, there, as the Colts just hired officially their new coach, Shane Steichen, there from the Eagles. Andre says, with some Sam Lunchbox money, Carr is a small upgrade. He was on an MVP run before the leg. He's more aggressive. I still would rather have a rookie or roll with Malik. So Andre's got a lot in there, right? So let's kind of piece it together. Derek Carr on an MVP run before he broke his leg. Well, he broke his leg the day after or the same day as
How
Marcus
long ago was that?
That was 2016. So we're in the year of 2023. It was a long time ago. The Raiders have hired and fired multiple coaches and general managers since Derek Carr broke his leg, just like the Titans have done in that situation. He
and
is
moved
more
cities.
yeah, exactly. Yes. Well, it was Christmas Eve. It was December 24th, which was a Saturday in 2016. Marcus Mariota and Derek Carr broke their leg in the same type of fashion that day. And yeah, so a lot of things have changed, including the Las Vegas Raiders with a brand new stadium. They probably haven't broken ground on that new stadium yet. So yes, Derek Carr is more aggressive. I think Antonio Brown, Derek Carr, Hard Knocks. We all remember that. Just throw it as far as you can type comments that they had. And so overall, Zach, I am selling this as well as an upgrade. I trust Ryan Tannehill more than I trust Derek Carr. I think at best it's a lateral move. And whenever you're in a point to have a lateral move, I say you stay with what you've got. I would rather stay with Ryan Tannehill than have to do a bunch of different things to bring in free agent quarterback Derek Carr. So that's how I answer the question. I'm a sell. I think it's pretty clear.
Well, and Ryan Tannehill doesn't give you the negative attributes that you would need to move off of somebody. Like money is always a reason to move off of somebody, right? Taylor Lewan, he's not worth $14 million. You need to move off of that guy or restructure him however you want to deal with it. But Ryan Tannehill, tough, smart, leader, likable, respected, like all of those type of intangibles. Now, he doesn't have the intangibles on the football field to make some of the plays that the elite quarterbacks do. But
the elite, no, but like,
that's what you have to have.
All the words, but Zach, all the words you just said about Ryan Tannehill, likable, leadership, tough, the same thing about Derek Carr. Like you can say that about Derek Carr, that he is a leader. We've seen how he handles this situation, which I think he's handled it well. He's stuck with the Raiders through a lot of tough times, and he has been a part of this Raiders organization through a lot of turmoil, and he has carried himself very well.
Well,
and so
side note, he also got the contract really early, so it's easier to put up with bad teams when you're getting paid $40 million.
But they both got big contracts, right? And so
Carr has been paid a lot more. That contract was massive.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm not doubting that it was massive.
But that's what I'm saying. Is like, let's not just sit here and say, "Oh my gosh, he's so nice. He's so good." Well, yeah, I can be a really nice guy if I'm paid $40 million a year. I can talk like this and be like, "Yeah, that's great." But no, right. So let's come on.
No, I don't.
I just have to point that out.
Well, let's look at Derek Carr's contract. Derek Carr, actually, I think this is his third deal.
It's ridiculous. The man has made so much damn money. I don't have it in front of me.
I got it. You want it?
Yeah.
Career earnings for Derek Carr. Just another. This is fun, right? I'm going to ask you, who do you think has made more money throughout their NFL career? Derek Carr, Ryan Tannehill.
Minus 3 years, right?
Okay, fair. All right. So I'll add. So we'll go on average earnings. Okay. Who do you think has made more average earnings throughout their career? Derek Carr, Ryan Tannehill. But first, I'm going to tell everybody about a great sponsor that we have here on the show, Hughes & Coleman. Hughes & Coleman, speaking of money, they've recovered over $1 billion for their clients across the state of Tennessee and in Kentucky who have been injured in a car wreck. I told you yesterday. I hope nobody who watches our show or anybody you guys know gets injured in a car wreck. But if that situation happens, then you have to know where to go to, how to make the most of a terrible situation. And that's by going to Hughes & Coleman. Getting injured in a car wreck is very expensive, with a lot of the medical expenses, the bills we know, and the loss of potential future income that might happen with that situation. Hughes & Coleman will have your back and fight those insurance companies that are way big and will try to bully you in a bad spot. So don't let that happen. Go to Hughes & Coleman Injury Lawyers. They're the official injury lawyers of the Tennessee Titans and will do what they do for the Titans for you. So if you get injured in a car accident, call Hughes & Coleman for a free case consultation. That's 800-800-4600, Principal Office, Nashville, Tennessee.
A to Z Sports. We're powered by BetMGM. Use that app, that phone that you got, and download that app. Use the bonus code ATOZ Sports. And here is one of many good reasons to do that. BetMGM first bet offer with ATOZ Sports as the bonus code, up to $1,000 in bonus bets if your first bet misses. That's who is hooking you up. Go to your Apple or Android app store and download the app. That's BetMGM.
All right, so I asked Zach the question, who has made more money per season throughout their career, Derek Carr or Ryan Tannehill? What do you think about this?
When was Derek Carr drafted?
Early second round pick. And
right,
we
so
know
he's not a
Tannehill,
first round pick.
Tannehill was
I think it probably
Tannehill was 8th overall, I believe.
yeah,
But again,
which is a huge difference.
Knowing that Derek Carr was an early second round pick meant that cheap rookie contract was a year shorter than what Ryan Tannehill's was, which means he got his second contract earlier throughout his career than Tannehill did. Because this is Derek Carr's third contract. This is also Ryan Tannehill's third contract. He got paid by the Dolphins, and then the Titans. Traded. Yeah, and then the Titans acquired him in trade, just like what happened with Derek.
It's probably hinging on this year because Derek Carr's not going to make the $40 million because he's going to get cut. So
this is not including this upcoming season. It's through this past season we just completed.
Carr has made more money, in my opinion.
Ryan Tannehill averages about $500,000 more per season in earnings than Derek Carr. You know, they both made.
How much have they made up into this point? There's a 3-year difference, though.
That's what I'm saying.
Derek Carr has made more money.
I'm talking about no. Ryan Tannehill has made more money in 2 extra seasons, but he's also averaging a higher salary per $500,000 per season. So Derek Carr averages exactly $15 million through 9 seasons in the NFL. Ryan Tannehill's 15.5 through 11 seasons.
Right. So, but that's going to be the difference. Derek Carr is going to get paid more. We don't know that yet.
So we don't know.
I don't want to jump the gun, but Derek Carr will get paid more. The younger you are, the more you're going to get paid because of inflation and all that other stuff. But I think it kind of proves of what the whole conversation is they're pretty even. They're the same type of guy. They're not going to get you to the Super Bowl. They're not going to win you the Super Bowl. They're not going to be able to compete in the likes of, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, and Patrick Mahomes. They're not going to be able to beat 2 out of those 3 quarterbacks, in which you're probably going to have to before you even get to the Super Bowl, or then you're going to have to beat an NFC team. So why would you do such a thing? I think that is kind of like the Saints are in a different spot. The Saints, actually, it makes a lot of sense to go get Derek Carr because you now have the senior veteran quarterback in the division. You go there, you get a playoff game, you start building up, you're rebuilding because you have a different head coach than Sean Payton, right? Like you're in a different spot. The Saints, that's probably why they wanted to trade for him, but the Titans are not in that spot. And if you listen to Ian Rapoport at the end of the clip that we played, he said expected to be interested.
Yeah.
That there's a difference than very interested or looking or calling and expected to be interested.
Sure. And I think it is interesting. I did see a comment earlier in the show. I wish I would have started to go back to it, but I missed it. So we're going to be able to use that new feature of starring comments for us to file away. But somebody mentioned that, how do we know that Ian Rapoport knows anything about the Titans right now? Because when has Ian Rapoport had a beat on the Titans? We know Diana Rossini has a beat on the Titans from a national level. I think I know where Diana gets her Titans info from. But the interesting part is, Zach, Rand Carthon's in now. And we don't know what type of national media relationships Rand Carthon has compared to what John Robinson did. What we do know about John Robinson is it was so tight-lipped. It was so hard to get any type of information out of the football operations side of the Tennessee Titans organization. It was that tight under J-Rob. Rand Carthon, he speaks collaboration. He speaks relationships. He speaks everything he's supposed to, but I have no idea, and nobody has any idea what Rand Carthon's relationships are like in the media, especially at the national level, because That's where things happen. That's where these guys who have been around in the NFL for decades have those relationships with Diana's and Jeremy Fowler's and Ian Rapoport's and Schefter's and the people who float from city to city for ESPN and NFL Network. We have no idea who Rand Carthon talks with.
Well, and you're media bad, right? Sometimes general managers use media to their advantage. Like you can use it strategically. We see agents use it all the time. Hell, AJ Brown got to a Super Bowl because his agent used the media to his advantage, to his client's advantage. So to your point, we don't know how Rand Carthon is going to utilize the media. We did know that John Robinson did not say much of anything about what they were trying to do. Small market teams usually use the media less. That's just kind of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Bigger markets usually use it to their advantage just because of relationships. But Rand Carthon is coming from San Francisco. San Francisco is a massive market.
And before that, he was in St. Louis. I think he carried over to LA for that transition. And then he was in Atlanta before that.
And John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan are known commodities. John Lynch is a known commodity.
Absolutely.
He learned from those guys. So I do think that is a telling sign that we need to look for in some of his moves in the next couple of months on what direction the Titans are going. Quarterback, Derrick Henry, some of the roster moves, strategic free agent moves that he's going, purchase price, and the media. I do think that is something to kind of open our eyes on Rand Carthon and his strategies to build this franchise.
Yeah. Dom says you can use the media to control narratives and contract negotiations and other things, which Zach kind of talked about there. I did see this. Eric Alonso says Tannehill is dumpster water, which is a strong comment there. And we're talking about Derek Carr and Ryan Tannehill being a comparable type quarterback at this point in their career. And then a different Eric says Carr and Tannehill have probably beat Patrick Mahomes more times than anyone throughout the regular season. Well, Derek Carr's had 2 shots at him every year over the last several seasons. And Ryan Tannehill, in the regular season has beaten Patrick Mahomes. I think he's 2-1 or maybe 2-0 in the regular season and then 0-1 in the playoffs against Mahomes as a Titans quarterback. But that's not what it's about, right? It's about playoff success. And because both these guys have been able to get their teams in the playoffs, but it's about winning playoff games with their arms. I think I do agree overall. Derek Carr is a more explosive passer. He's more aggressive. He's more throw the football down the field and press it down the field. That's not saying Tannehill can't, because we've seen Tannehill be really, really accurate downfield when he's got the weapons to do so. But Tannehill is way more mobile than Derek Carr. And again, if you're talking about the Titan situation, whatever quarterback you got back there, this offensive line has to be fixed or nobody's going to be able to have success.
Well, I want to float this out there.
Okay.
Derek Carr probably doesn't want to go to the Tennessee Titans.
That's interesting because Derek Carr is now going to be a free agent. And
it's Derek Carr's decision, boys and girls. That's why he refused the trade. He got all of the power by doing what he did, what Ian Rapoport reported. It's Derek Carr's, it's his show this offseason.
And I think I give props to Derek Carr for calling the Raiders bluff, right? Because the Raiders had this deadline of $41 million to get locked in if they did not release or trade Carr by today. And so
they had a trade on the table too.
Yes, they did. And Derek Carr, because he had the no trade clause, Derek Carr saying, look, why would I agree to a trade, which has to happen for this to be executed, to get my team who doesn't want me anymore, more and better draft picks, and go to my new team who just traded away key draft picks for me? So no, Raiders, I'm calling your bluff, cut my ass, and I'm going to go find a team that gets to keep those draft picks.
What team would want to go to the Titans? Or what quarterback, would want to go to the Titans? Let's just be honest. Let's sit here and take a step back. You've got a retread offensive coordinator that's just been upgraded after a bad offensive coordinator. Your offense stinks. like moves haven't been made. Your wide receivers are young or are not very good. Derrick Henry is a year older. Mike Vrabel is a respected, good head coach. I think that there is a positive there, but the defense wasn't anything to love about. Like, why would you, if you're a quarterback and you're going, you'd want to go, and I hate to say it, you'd rather go to the damn Jets. The Jets are a better offensive situation than the Tennessee Titans.
So, Zach, I'm going to go through, and this is going to make people maybe throw up in their mouths. So, warning. The wide receivers currently under contract for the Tennessee Titans are as follows: Robert Woods, Traylon Burks, Racey McMath, Kyle Phillips, Mason Kinsey. End of list. End of list. That's it. That's it. Now, that's only 5 guys. And I think, the positive spin of good. Now you've got opportunity and room to go get better players because you only have 5 wide receivers under contract. So I think that's Reggie Robertson is technically around, but that's a voidable year that's got no dead cap money. So that doesn't necessarily count. But Mason Kinsey, Kyle Phillips, Racey McMath, Traylon Burks, and Robert Woods, only receivers under contract. If you want to go do the same thing with the Jets, you got Corey Davis, Braxton Berrios, by the way. Why does Braxton Berrios have an $8 million cap hit? But anyway, Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, Denzel Mims, and then some other, practice squad level type players for the Jets. But you've got, legitimate guys out there, including the rookie of the year in Garrett Wilson under contract. So yeah, if you're Derek Carr, absolutely. I'm with you on that.
And so that, I think, is influential in this conversation, because if Derek Carr doesn't want to go to the Tennessee Titans aren't going to even entertain him, because he's not going to show up to the party.
Honestly, Zach, that's not the biggest reason why I don't think the Titans will get Derek Carr. I've got it. The biggest reason why the Titans will not get Derek Carr, we have not mentioned yet. I'll tell all of you that, but first tell us about Wilson County Hyundai.
Yeah, Wilson County Hyundai is where you need to go get your new ride. Quick trip down I-40 exit 236. If you are looking for a new vehicle this year in 2023, make sure you look at Wilson County Hyundai. You can go to the other dealerships. That's fine, right? Do your due diligence. That's okay. It's like Derek Carr. You can go look at other teams, but make sure you check out Wilson County Hyundai. They will hook you up with a great deal at a great price. Your perfect make and model. It could be the full-size SUV. It could be the 4-door sedan. They've got the Palisade, the Hyundai, the Elantra, the Tucson, the Santa Fe. That is WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Don't forget, with BetMGM, you can win big this spring with our bonus code ATOZ Sports. If you have not downloaded the BetMGM app yet, do it today with our bonus code ATOZ Sports. That gives you a fantastic first bet offer, which means your first bet, you can get up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if you miss on your first bet. And BetMGM's got a bunch of other deals, Zach. And this morning I opened the app to just go look at my winnings from Sunday. And I also noticed I get to pick my next token. I got a promotion, but I got 3 options to choose from. And so I picked a parlay boost token because I wanted to use that on maybe college hoops or some pro basketball later on this week with BetMGM. So they give you tons of great features with the BetMGM app. So download the BetMGM app, use our bonus code ATOZ Sports. That means if your first bet misses, you get up to $1,000 back in bonus bets. So visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 or older, Tennessee only, new customer offer. All promotions, subject qualification, eligible requirements. First online real money wager only. Rewards issued at non-withdrawable bonus bets. Bonus bets expire in 7 days from issuance. And for problem game support, call Tennessee Redline 800-889-9789. So Zach, we're talking a lot about Derek Carr. Ian Rapoport mentioned yesterday, Monday, on the NFL Network that Derek Carr will be a free agent by 3 p.m. Central Time Tuesday, today, that the Raiders will release him to get out from that guaranteed money that is locked in after that time today. He mentioned the Saints, the Panthers, the Jets, and the Titans that are expected to have interest in Derek Carr. The biggest reason why the Titans will not get Derek Carr is because of timing of decision-making. Because Derek Carr can sign whenever he wants to. Every other free agent, that's getting ready for this cycle has to wait until March to officially sign those contracts with their new team, but Derek Carr is eligible to sign with a new team immediately after his release by the Raiders. So the timing matters because, Zach, the Titans have $37.7 million of cap hit at the quarterback position. 37.7. The Saints have 16.7. The Panthers have 1.1 million. The Jets have 10.6 million. The Titans have the bigger decision to make with Ryan Tannehill before they can go sign Derek Carr as a free agent. The Saints, they have Jameis who's set to make 15, but that's not as big as Ryan Tannehill's 36. And then you've got Matt Corral, who's the only quarterback under contract for the Panthers, set to make 1.1, and Zach Wilson set to make 9.6 with the Jets. We all know how the Jets feel about Zach Wilson. So I think the Jets, the Panthers, and the Saints have an easier decision to make. And it's basically just how much do we want to pay Derek Carr with a new contract? The Titans, I don't think the Titans are ready to make a decision on Ryan Tannehill at this moment on Valentine's Day. And I think those other teams are ready to jump if Derek Carr is available.
Well, we all already know that the Saints are willing, right? Because they put a trade together. So there's one team kind of ahead of the Titans.
Yeah.
I think that what you've brought up is valid because the timing, the Titans, I don't even know if the Titans know what direction they're going in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Mike Vrabel just said.
In general. This is not a quarterback thing. In what direction are they going in? Are they let's go back to it. Let's spin the wheel. Is it rebuild, reset, or retool? I don't truly think that the Titans know what they're going to do.
No, because Mike Vrabel last week, when asked about what does Tim Kelly's promotion as OC mean for Ryan Tannehill, Mike Vrabel said, I don't know, but I can't speak for Ryan, but I think he's excited. I talked to him about it today, and he's been in the building every day. And so, yada, 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 whatever. But still, and Ryan Carthon was asked at his intro press conference in late January, I need to evaluate everybody before I can make a decision. I don't think the Titans are ready to evaluate or ready to make a decision on Ryan Tannehill yet. And also, like I've said about Ryan Tannehill, you've got 2 times you can cut him. And the Titans are minus $26 million in cap space. And you can save $27 million if you designate Tannehill a June 2nd cut. You save 18 if it's a cut now for Tannehill. So how much of the Titans...
They can designate it.
No, but they don't get the money until June 2nd. That's my point, is that they can cut Tannehill now and designate it June 2nd, but the cap space isn't there until June 2nd, just like what happened with Julio Jones. And so that brings me back to a graphic we talked about previously too. You got all these other guys. Like, you need to, how are you going to bring on Derek Carr with whatever free agent contract he gets until you make decision on this $45 million on the screen? And so
how are you going to trade for Aaron Rodgers then?
No, I mean, I don't know. I think my point is these 4 moves need to be made sooner rather than later, because if you make these 4 moves, now you can at least operate for the future because you've gotten yourself $20 million of space. Then you can see how the dominoes might fall. Derek Carr, Aaron Rodgers, whoever else, Jordan Love, if Aaron Rodgers stays in Green Bay. I mean, there's options, though, once you make those 4 moves with those non-quarterbacks. Then you can see, do you need to wait until June 2nd to cut Tannehill, or do you need to cut Tannehill now? But these 4 moves of Cunningham, Dupree, Robert Woods, and Lewan, those have to happen first, in my opinion.
Well, and it's crazy because the offseason comes at you fast. I mean, we're 2 days after the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
But the offseason comes at you fast. Honestly, in a week, if you look February 21st, that is the date that clubs may designate franchise or transition tags.
Yeah.
So
That's the start date. Yeah.
But I mean, now you can make moves. You're now officially making moves for the new 2023 season by decisions. I wouldn't say moves, but decisions based on that date. And then it comes at you. Austin, here's a side question. Would it be beneficial for Derek Carr to wait or to sign quick?
Yeah, that's another one. Yeah, I mean, it depends. The Saints are in cap hell, like significant cap hell, which is why Sean Payton wanted out and retired.
Well, they always have been. Yeah.
Yeah, and they've just continued to get worse. You know, the Jets are not a terrible situation. The Panthers are interesting too because it's a brand new head coach and they've got DJ Moore and a couple other nice pieces on offense. You know, I think if I were Derek Carr, you know, I just feel like he's not going to wait. I feel like Derek Carr wants his new home and then wants that team to be able to start preparing for what it looks like around him, right? And that's the draft. That's other free agent moves. And so I think if I'm Derek Carr, I'd want to get my money and sign ASAP.
And it goes to what you were saying, you know, a second ago. That's why the Titans aren't ready.
Right.
Right. And so I'm with you. I think that's Derek Carr's mindset. He wants to find a home, buy a home, find his church, find his. But I mean, I'm serious.
No,
I'm not joking.
Yeah. No, it sounds funny, but that's the thing.
I think he values that, which is okay. I think he values that type of stuff. So he wants to get in there regardless. How much money has the man made?
$135 million in 9 years.
What? Think about that. He just wants stability. He wants to know his direction. He doesn't give a damn about the money and the agreement or the negotiation. No, his agent. He hires his agent to do that. But I do think, God, that is wild. I do think he wants to find a home and plant his roots and then, you know, help the team in the case. And that's why I do think it eliminates the Titans from the conversation more so. And then I do think that the Jets want Aaron Rodgers because the Jets are a big market team and they had a little taste of the playoff push graphic last year. Mm-hmm. Now they fell short because of their quarterback situation, but I do think that the Jets feel that they owe it to their fans to go out and make a big splash for once and go get Aaron Rodgers. And I think that's the biggest team competing with the Tennessee Titans. Now, Aaron Rodgers has a no trade clause too.
Just like Carr. Yeah.
Right. So he ultimately, Aaron Rodgers may not want to deal with the New York media. He may not want to be the retread of Brett Favre, right? He may prefer Tennessee because he has a home in Tennessee. So
I don't know, I think it's still being built. I don't think it's actually finished yet, but you know how that stuff works.
It'll be expedited for the season.
I don't know, man. Supplies are just real tough.
Aaron can afford it. How much has Derek Carr made?
Derek Carr's made $135 million in his 9 seasons in the NFL.
How much do you think Aaron Rodgers has made in his career?
He's probably made $135 million the last 5 years.
No, I know.
I think Aaron Rodgers has probably made. I think it's right under 200. I'll say 197.
Wrong.
Over 200.
Yes.
230.
Wrong.
Over that.
Yes.
Oh my God. I hope this isn't how trivia is going to go. 260.
Wrong.
290.
Wrong.
Over 300?
Yes.
Oh my God.
305.
Career, like that's earnings.
Yes.
On the field.
Career earnings. $305,608,010.
How much in the last 5 years?
In the last 5 years, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh my God. You know how much you made in 2018?
Oh, probably like $60 million, right?
$66.9 million. I'm just going to do this. Because we're on the topic, I'm just going to help myself out.
Get the calculator out to find out how much Aaron Rodgers has made in the last 5 years. Yeah, because the Packers he had the Packers strapped because they had no other option. They didn't want to fall off the face of the earth. if Aaron Rodgers walked on him a few years ago. So he's made ridiculous.
In the last 5 years, he's made over $167 million.
Yeah, that's insane. That's as much as Tannehill's made in 11.
Now, again, Hall of Fame quarterback, Super Bowl quarterback. But he also has struggled because they haven't given him the weapons, right?
Because he's been making $160 million the last 5 years.
So maybe you get it. That's why I want the Titans to trade for Aaron Rodgers. I am pro Aaron Rodgers to the Tennessee Titans. I've said that. The cat's out of the bag. I've been saying that for now a week or two. Aaron Rodgers, you come to the Tennessee Titans, you don't need that type of money. You can build that house and pay off the contractors as quick as possible to get that bad boy up and settle into your place and lead the Tennessee Titans. That would be a trade that I think he would accept, because ultimately he has to accept it. It would turn the Tennessee Titans franchise upside down. It would lift and ignite them into contenders. They can now start to compete with the likes of Burrow, Allen, and Mahomes. All you got to worry about is Trevor Lawrence. And plus, he now plays a number 1 seed schedule next year. So that's going to be tough for Doug Peterson and company. The Titans get rid of Robert Woods and Taylor Lewan. They come in and bring in new pieces.
Probably Randall Cobb.
Randall Cobb will come with you for a veteran minimum.
All right. Oh, geez. All right. So let's quit that fantasy real quick before Zach gets too.
Yeah, okay. I woke up.
All right. So let's go ahead and get to Tuesday sports trivia, Zach. We got 5 questions coming up, 4 sports and 1 non-sports. We got 1 rule, that's no Googling, but we need everybody watching the show right now to help us with Tuesday sports trivia, because we've been in a big time slump. But first, let me tell you guys about the Bone and Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. Whenever you get hurt in life, you have to know who to go to and who you can trust when it comes to getting back to health and dealing with any type of injury that might occur in life. In sports, rec sports, your son or daughter are getting hurt in youth sports, whatever it might be, they've got you guys covered right there in Franklin, boneandjointtn.org.
A to Z Sports, we're powered by BetMGM. Use the bonus code ATOZ Sports and download the app today. They are the king of the sports book. There's sports books out there, but you got to download BetMGM. Use that promo code right there on the screen, or that bonus code ATOZ Sports. That's ATOZ Sports right there. BetMGM. Let's get to sports trivia.
Trivia to wrap up this show like we do every Tuesday. Zach, we've got 5 questions, 4 sports, 1 non-sports. We really need to go 4 and 1, after a rough couple of weeks. So what you got for us off the top of this week?
Well, we've got back-to-back Super Bowl questions.
Okay.
That I think the chat and you and I can get. Who was the second head coach to win more than 1 Super Bowl? Who was the second head coach to win more than 1 Super Bowl? John Madden, Tom Landry, Don Shula, Chuck Noll. Who was the second head coach to win more than 1 Super Bowl? The first was Vince Lombardi.
Okay, so it's Shula. Easy. Don Shula. Because Don Shula won 72 and I think 7. I don't know if they won back-to-back, but I'm pretty sure, because in the 70s, the Dolphins, the Cowboys, and the Steelers all won multiple Super Bowls in that decade. But I think the Dolphins were the first to do 2.
Because they were that 72, which is the 72 Dolphins, right?
So Shula's correct. I am very, very confident in this. Ironically, I just listened to a podcast on Saturday doing yard work that was about how many franchises have won back-to-back Super Bowls. And maybe that's an exercise we can do another day.
That's pretty easy though, right?
I'm going to hold that for another moment. It could be fun. I don't know. I never know. But I feel very good about Shula. So Don Shula, final A to Z.
Shula became the second head coach to win 2 Super Bowls with the Miami Dolphins, defeating the Minnesota Vikings 24-7 and the Green Bay Packers Vince Lombardi's Green Bay Packers won Super Bowl 1 and 2. So
Yeah.
Don Shula.
All right, 1-0. Good start.
Who's the first head coach to lose more than one Super Bowl? Who was the first head coach to lose more than one Super Bowl? Tom Landry, Don Shula, Bud Grant, or Dan Reeves?
Bud Grant's interesting.
Who was the first head coach to lose more than one Super Bowl?
I think Bud Grant, because we just said the Vikings lost to the Dolphins, right?
Yes.
So I think it's Bud Grant and the Vikings, because the Purple People Eaters were really good there, and I think they showed up.
Dan Reeves.
Dan Reeves is too late.
Yeah. He did. Dan Reeves did lose too.
Yeah, but that was like in the 80s and
90s because it was the Falcons.
Yeah, so I think it's Bud Grant. And Jay says, heck, Grant lost 4 times. So I think it's Bud Grant. I feel good about it. What were the options?
The options were Tom Landry, Don Shula, Bud Grant, Dan Reeves.
Shula is interesting, though, too. But Shula lost later, like with Marino. Bud Grant had already lost multiple. I say we go Bud Grant. Scott's on Bud Grant. A lot of others on Bud Grant. We do have a lot of Shulas coming in, which
What do
makes
you
me
want to
nervous.
do?
I say we need to lock in Bud Grant before the Googlers get here.
Okay.
Final A to Z, Bud Grant. What you got?
Baltimore Colts head coach Don Shula.
What?
That's what got us. Miami, the Dolphins lost to the Cowboys in Super Bowl 6. Don Shula was the first coach to lose 2 Super Bowls. The Baltimore Colts. He lost to Joe Namath.
Well, I'm not going to forget that one.
Don Shula's pretty amazing. I mean, why is there not an award named after Don Shula? That should be they were talking about renaming the MVP, Super Bowl MVP for Tom Brady, which makes sense because Kobe Bryant they did that in the NBA. But damn, Don Shula, you need some respect needs to get on.
Yeah, that's tough. All right, 1-1.
Have you ever played handball?
I think so.
How many players from each team are allowed to be on the field? 7, 5, 6, or 8?
I have not played handball.
How many players from each team are allowed to be on the field in handball? 7, 5, 6, and 8, or 8? I've never played handball. Any handballers out there?
Jeff says 6. It's just a guess, though. 5. We're getting some other 6s.
How many players from each team are allowed to be on the field in handball?
So
7.
Kyle says 6 and a keeper. So does the keeper count as a 7th?
Yeah, he's on the field.
So 7 if you count the keeper. So do we go? Let's just go. I think we have to go 7, right? If the keeper counts at 7. Titans Kyle says if the keeper counts at 7.
You want to lock it in?
Final A to Z, 7.
The game was introduced in the 1936 Olympics in Berlin as the 11-player outdoor game. When it was reintroduced in the 1972 Olympics, it was a 7-player indoor game.
Okay.
7 is the correct answer.
All right, good. 2-1. Thanks, Kyle.
Arkansas was not always called the Razorbacks. what was their former mascot? Arkansas was not always called the Razorbacks. What was their former mascot? The Cardinal, the Hornet, the Bear, the Mud Skipper.
This sounds like a mud skipper. The Hornet, no. Cardinal is pretty generic.
The Arkansas Super Center, because Walmart's busy.
Oh, that's funny. Good job, Derek. Mud skipper just sounds great and sounds very Arkansas. But yeah. Oh man, I don't know. I mean, Zach, do you have any opinions, thoughts?
I don't think it's the Cardinal.
Cardinal or Cardinals?
Cardinal, singular.
Singular. Like
the Mud Skipper. Arkansas Mud Skipper. Oh, that was the mascot. Yeah, but yeah. I don't Mud Skipper does sound like
but Cardinal and the red would go together.
Yeah, that's true. Hornet is not red. No. Bear is not red. Mud's. And I don't think they changed colors.
I don't think we can go Mud Skipper. That just seems, I think we have to go Cardinal.
What is the chat saying?
Cardinal or Mud Skipper, but most people are hoping it's Mud Skipper. I say we go Cardinal.
Okay.
Cardinal, final A to Z.
Let's see here. At first, the Arkansas Cardinals plowed through several uneventful seasons before going 7-0 in 1909. This is long. Some famous teams from the include the 25 Little Pigs under Bowden Wyatt. So they went from the Cardinal to a feral pig.
Mm-hmm.
Brought over from Europe by Spanish explorer Hernando de Soto. That's why there are hogs in Arkansas.
Interesting. So we are correct with Cardinal.
Correct with Cardinal.
All right. 2-1.
Most NCAA football conferences have their special bowl games. To crown the league champion and sometimes fight for the national title, what bowl game did the Southwest Conference host? I know this.
I want to say it's Cotton.
Rose Bowl, Sugar Bowl, Cotton Bowl, or Orange Bowl? It's got to be the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah, especially because it was...
it's between the cotton and the sugar, but I don't think it's the sugar.
No, Sugar is ACC, SEC, and Sugar's always been SEC.
But it's Southwest Conference.
Right. I understand that. So like 1985, when you had the Vols versus Miami Sugar Bowl, the Cotton Bowl, it's got to be the Cotton Bowl. There's no other.
Because that was the Arkansas, Texas type teams.
SMU, Oklahoma, Rice, and
I think it's Cotton Bowl.
Yeah, it's got to be Cotton. Final AZ Cotton Bowl.
1937 at the Texas Fairgrounds.
Yeah, Fairgrounds. That was another reason.
TCU winning the first ever Cotton Bowl over Marquette, 16-6.
Marquette, interesting member of the Southwest Conference. All right, so 3-1. That's good. Good sports round. So now we got our non-sports.
What member of the Red Hot Chili Peppers grew up with Cher as his babysitter? What member of the Red Hot Chili Peppers grew up with Cher as his babysitter? Flea.
I can't even name a member.
So. Flea.
Okay.
You know Flea.
No.
Chad Smith, Anthony Kiedis, Josh Klinghoffer. Josh Klinghoffer, Flea, Chad Smith, Anthony Kiedis, or Kiedis. It's Kiedis. What member of the Red Hot Chili Peppers grew up with Cher as his babysitter? I mean, this is why you do trivia, because you learn stuff like this that you have no idea.
So initially, Flea flew in, pun intended, and then Anthony Kiedis came in, and Brent says, Kiedis, lock it in.
Do we go Kiedis? Is he the main singer?
Yeah, because American Top says it's the main singer dude. Which one is the main singer dude?
It's not Flea. I think it's Anthony. I think the lead singer's name is Anthony.
All right, so we go with Anthony Kiedis, final letter Z. Kiedis.
Kiedis?
That's what Daff is saying, Kiedis.
Okay, fair. I relinquish pronunciations.
Sure. So Anthony Kiedis, final letter Z.
Babysitters included Cher and Sonny Bono for Red Hot Chili Peppers frontman Anthony Kiedis.
Boom.
We got it. That's 4 in one day.
That is a 4 in 1 day. That's big. We needed that 4 in 1 day. I'm trying to
Don Shula was tough.
Yeah, we could have gone double Dons and been a lot better, but we did not. So if I add, let's see. So now we are now 54 out of 80. So we are back up to 67.5%. So
and we're trying to get to 75.
I think we should move that goalpost a little bit. I don't think we have an opportunity to get to 75.
Why? What are we right now?
We're at 54 out of 80, which means to get to 75, we would need to get 21 questions correct out of 20.
Yeah. That can't happen.
Maybe a 70. If we get 70%, that means we get 16 out of 20 over the next.
I think our goal. 16 out of 20.
That would get us to 70%.
So let's do 69.
Okay, over under set at 69.
69 is the number.
All right, I think we can do that. So we got 15 questions we got to get right. But all right, guys, great show here on this Tuesday. We'll see what happens officially with the Raiders and Derek Carr later on this afternoon. Again, that time is 3 p.m. Central for the Raiders to officially cut Derek Carr and make him a free agent. And we'll be back to react to it tomorrow morning on a Wednesday. So like the show before you go on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. We've also got Buck Rising live tonight for A to Z Sports Primetime. So he'll have that reaction for you as well. So check that out at 8 o'clock Central Time tonight with Buck Rising. And then we'll see you guys tomorrow morning on a shade day to kick off Wednesday at 8 a.m. Central. Appreciate it as always. Talk to you later.
Adios.